So I was talking to this agent the other week. She was like 2 decades into the game, into this real estate game, and our conversation was really the inspiration for today's video. It's all about her lead gen marketing strategy, and I wanted to tell you this story because she may have been the inspiration for this video, but it's pretty much the exact same conversation that I'm pretty sure many of you are having internally with regards to your lead gen strategy, which really then led me to believe that I gotta make this video. What is up, guys? Emmanuel here, founder and senior brand strategist over at Square One Group, where our mission is to help you identify your expertise so you can scale your real estate business. So I was talking to this agent the other week about her lead gen strategy, and she was super duper hell-bent on what was working for her. Now, keyword is was working for her. And that particular strategy that was working was pretty much just referrals and postcards. She had really had a bunch of ebbs and flows in about 17 years of her business, really just sending out postcards and, crossing her fingers for some referrals up until about 2018. Now, in 2018, the number of deals that she was able to acquire from said strategy started to decline. 2019, it got worse. Then 2020 hit, and she was at that point scraping by. I think last year, if I'm not mistaken, she only did maybe like 1 or 2 transactions in the entire year. And long story short, the postcard strategy that she was doing, it really wasn't yielding any true results. And she was really just losing out deals to other agents that were just in the forefront of her clients and her audience. Now, long story short, she came to me asking me for advice, but wasn't really able to accept the fact that she was too stuck in her own ways to really realize that she needed to switch up her strategy. By the way, guys, quick tip here to find out if you are stuck in your old ways. That tip is to start measuring your data, know your numbers. For example, if you spent $3K on postcards and it got you, 5 new leads, and then the following month you spent another $3K and it got you 0, then that's a pretty clear indicator that the strategy has stopped working. And for some agents, they fail to see this pattern because they're not tracking their data, hence said agent. And if this is you, start tracking your data. Now, there's actually a term for this. It's called insanity, which essentially means doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So kind of big takeaway, track your data. All right, anyways, I digress. I wanted to give you guys a takeaway, a little bit of a lesson learned from this conversation, especially if, this story aligns with your story. Actually, it's 2 lessons learned that I want to break down for you today. Lesson number 1 is that there is no silver bullet when it comes to your marketing strategy. You cannot have one strategy and stick to it till the wheels fall off with the expectation that it is always going to work, because it just doesn't. Look, at the end of the day, your prospects and your clients, they are smarter than you think. And if you keep sending the exact same message over and over and over again, they're eventually going to zone you out, like this particular agent in this example. And lesson learned number 2, and that is to ABT. Always be testing. By the way, not clear what I mean by testing. I made a really cool video about testing. I'm gonna leave the link right here. Go take a look. By the way, we have a rule that we instill into all of our clients. And so that said, here's a little bit of a nugget of people under the hood. That rule that we tell all of our clients to be doing is to test one thing at least once a week. Now, it's easy for us to say this because we focus on digital marketing and we're able to pretty much update things for the most part on the fly. Now, if you're doing a whole postcard strategy, well, it's kind of unrealistic to be testing once a week because there's a bunch of turnaround time. You have to design it, then you got to print it, then you got to mail it out. Then you got to wait maybe up to 30 days or more just to get some data from that actual strategy. It takes way too long to figure out a winner in one of these types of experiments. Okay, so I wanted to give you some actionable things to test with regards to today's video. So let me hop into my iPad real quick now, shall we? And I'm going to show you what we look at when we're trying to test something like Facebook ads. Okay, so what you're looking at on my screen now, example of a Facebook ad, all right? Again, you want to be testing something every single week. So let me very quickly break down the anatomy of a Facebook ad so we can start identifying things to test, okay? So the first thing that I want to identify for you is this part right here, right? This is actually called the mini ad. And this mini ad is usually what people see when they see a Facebook, ad before they click the more button. That first little snippet of text, that is something that you can actually test. The next thing that I want to point out to you is the actual ad message itself. That's this section here. Next part you can test is this section here. That's usually the picture or the video for this matter, and that's usually called the creative. And then lastly, you have the bottom of the ad here, which is essentially your headline. And then this is your CTA or your call to action or your button. All right, so if you guys remember back in science class, maybe when you were in junior high or high school, there's this thing that we all learned. It's called the scientific method. That's essentially what we're doing here. By the way, if you didn't ever think that you actually need the scientific method, well, hurrah, it kind of just it showed its ugly face back again into what you got to do to be successful. Anyways, you're going to be wanting to, create a hypothesis and test your hypothesis against a variable. And that's essentially what I am showing you on my screen here. These are really 5 main areas for you to test when it comes to your ads. But wait, there's more. I want to throw a little bit of a bonus for you because we're talking about postcards. So let me show you things that you can test on a postcard when you're doing A/B testing or you're trying to test one of your postcard strategies or campaigns if you're still doing postcards. All right, so what you're looking at here is basic postcard, right? The basic postcard actually has the exact same anatomy that a Facebook ad or any type of ad does. So very quickly, you have here the headline. And in this particular case, you actually have your mini message, which is also your tagline right here. Or I would say that's also what we would consider your mini ad. And then we have your actual message right here. And then we have your call to action right here. And then lastly, we have your creative right here. You really can test every single part of a postcard the same way that you would test every single part of a Facebook ad. The only caveat here is it's going to take you a lot longer to test. Now, on another note, this is probably one of the main reasons why we focus our strategies, particularly in getting the success that we've gotten for our clients, primarily on digital marketing versus more traditional. Because when you're doing digital marketing, you get data instantly, and it's going to be a lot faster for you to test and a heck of a lot cheaper for you to test than it is by sending out a postcard. Anyway, hope you found some value in this video, and if you did and you want to talk a little bit more shop about some of these strategies, comment section below. It's a link to our private Facebook group, completely free. Go ahead and hop in, go ahead and join, and we can continue the conversation on from there. And if you want to check out another cool video just like this one, check out this one right here. All right, guys, see you later.